Okay, I've done a thing, and I really like the thing, and I want to show you the thing. So you might have seen on my channel lately that Sonicake sent me their first electric guitar, the QGT10, I believe, which is this guitar here, the Stratocaster style guitar. And I actually really liked it. It's a budget guitar. I think it came in around about $129, $130, which is about £100. And as it's getting towards Christmas now, people are starting to think about buying guitars for people for Christmas presents. And you know, for the most part, people are going to be looking towards these cheaper guitars to give for people who are maybe just starting out. And in my initial demo of this guitar, that is who I said this guitar is most likely aimed at, beginners. That being said, I did say in the video also that this guitar, when I first got it, it needed a bit of work to make it playable. It needed a little bit of intonating, a little bit of action tweaking. But once I'd fixed the intonation and the action on the guitar, I actually really enjoyed it. I love the sound of it. For such a cheap guitar, it's got such a good tone, so much so that I actually took it to a gig as well. So I was very impressed, but there was one thing that I didn't love about the guitar, and that was the neck. So what I've done is I've changed it. So this is the guitar, and if you remember, the old neck looked a little bit, well, a lot, or exactly like this. This is the original neck that was on this guitar, obviously a darker fretboard there with the Sonicake logo on the top. And this actual guitar body was my first ever guitar that I got, which I got from a catalogue in 2003 for Christmas. As I said, Christmas presents, that's when people get their first guitars, which usually end up being cheaper ones. This was mine. And I've had this for a little while, and the neck that is now on this guitar was on this guitar, but I never played it because the neck needed some work. It was a decent neck. I don't know where I got it from. I think I bought it either off Amazon or eBay about 10 years ago. And then put it on that other guitar. And then over time, the wood shrank on this neck, causing these frets to stick out a little bit, making it really uncomfortable to play. So that guitar has just been sat on my wall in my office for quite a while, more just like, it's like a memento of the past, not something that ever got used. But I do like the look of this neck. And then a little while ago, I was just staring at this guitar sat on my wall in my office, and then I just thought, why don't I swap the necks? Why don't I take the neck that was on this guitar and put it on the Sonicake body? And at the same time, I'll address those frets, I'll file them down, sand them down, make it a little bit more playable, and hey presto, this is what I've done. And being honest, I thought this guitar was a beautiful colour to start with, and I think this maple neck adds to it. I think it looks so much better with the light coloured neck than it did with the dark neck. And I also think that this guitar looks better with the darker neck, because that's kind of what it had on originally. The original neck that was on this guitar, I've still got, but I broke it. So since then, this hasn't had its original neck, but now having this one on it, it's kind of taking it back to how it was when I first got it. And this guitar right here isn't a guitar that I'm really going to play very much. It's more just, as I said, a memento of the past. This is my first guitar, the one that I started out on. It's had a little bit of work. I've changed the bridge for a black bridge and black hardware in general, as you can see. But, you know, the pickups are still the same, so I guess it's been changed quite a bit, to be honest. But essentially, I still class this as my first guitar. And there's even the stickers still on the back of the guitar that I must have put on this thing well over 20 years ago. And that is why this guitar has a black nut on the fretboard, is because obviously I put black hardware on the other guitar, the nut being one of those things that I added. And I actually think it looks great with that as well, as another unique feature. The tuners on the back there are actually pretty cool too, because they are Fender tuners that I took off my Mexican Fender guitar when I bought upgraded tuners for my Fender, which is locking tuners. And so when I took them off my Fender, I had these Fender ones lying about, so I put them on this guitar too. The tuners are probably the most expensive thing on the guitar. And buying a set of those might actually be more expensive than buying the Sonicake guitar to start with, I'm not entirely sure. But when I first put this neck on this guitar, it wasn't exactly plain sailing from there. It did have some issues in terms of intonation. Above the 12th fret was fine, but the lower frets I was having issues. When I played chords, they sounded really out of tune because of the nut. The strings were sitting too high in the slots, so that when I was pressing notes down, I was actually sharpening those notes so that when I played it, it was out of tune. And that's a job that goes a little bit beyond my capabilities. So what I actually did is I found a local guitar tech who managed to fix that for me very quickly at a very reasonable price. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I even said to the guy, it's a cheap guitar, it's a bit of a project, if it's not worth it, just let me know and I'll just abandon it. But he gave it a go, and I'm telling you now, it's absolutely perfect. The action is the lowest action I've ever had on a guitar. The chords, everything's perfectly. intonated. I absolutely love this guitar, I really do, and I even said to the guy, sure, I could buy a more expensive guitar, I could buy a Fender, I could put work into a guitar like that one, but I actually like that this one is a bit of a Frankenstein. It's got a different neck, the nut was added, it's got Fender tuners, it's a Sonicake body. I love it, I really do. I'm very, very happy with it. And then I took this guitar to my gig the other day and I played it, and again, it sounded so good with my band. These pickups, they sound more stratty than my actual Strat pickups do. So mainly this video is just a little update with what's going on in my guitar life, and I've decided to call this guitar the Green Ranger. You might have seen this thing knocking around in my videos, like in the background and stuff like that. I was well into Power Rangers as a kid, the Green Ranger being my favourite. So this guitar, I've decided to call the Green Ranger as a little tribute, even though in this light it looks a little bit more bluey green, but you know, in different lights it looks even better. And for the tones I was using in this video, I was actually just using the Sonicake amp cube, going straight into my microphone there, capturing those tones, stock presets and everything like that. I guess this video is kind of turning into a little bit of a Sonicake advert. I don't mean it to. Obviously they did send me these products to test out. I've already made those tests, so this isn't a sponsored video. This is me just talking about this guitar and obviously talking about the products I was using to get the tones and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just going to leave the video there. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video, this little update. But yeah, let me know what you think. And I will link this guitar in the description if anyone, like I said, is thinking about buying a guitar for Christmas. I don't think it's a bad option. It does need a little bit of work potentially, but you know, once that's been done, a fantastic guitar. So there we go. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do. I make lots of guitar and music related content, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So take care.